All right. PBC may not be looking to make the Errol Spence Jr. versus Terence Crawford fight anytime soon because Bill Wagner said, the executive vice president, the guy that's over boxing at Fox, said some real interesting things, which will let you know that this fight is not about to happen anytime soon. And it is a result of a network war, I do believe, that is going to change boxing, or has the potential to change boxing in a very, very major way. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And also, I want to say special thank you to the Patreon, to the live stream community. Thank you guys for your support. Make sure you're there Sunday morning, 8 a.m. for OG Boxing Talk with myself, KQKC Boxing, Blood Boxing, Curtis Anderson, and Trap House Boxing. You guys will definitely enjoy the conversation. Let's get into this, man, because this is not, I don't find this to be good news. And this is actually just one piece of a few videos that I'm going to drop today that cover this topic. And it is the direction of the PBC and its partnership with Fox Sports. The executive vice president that is over boxing for Fox is named Bill Wagner. And he made a statement about the PBC and Showtime. And in it, he touched on Deontay Wilder and Andy Ruiz. He also mentioned Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. And this is the big part of it. He said that the PBC has 99% of the great boxers, or the great boxers that are out there. And Errol Spence Jr. can have several fights without having to fight Terence Crawford. Now, that we all know is true, without a doubt. There are several fights that Errol Spence Jr. can make without Terence Crawford. I'm not advocating for that because I believe Errol Spence Jr., once he gets back, and provided that he's healthy and everything is good, and him and Terence Crawford are the fight that I want to see as a hardcore boxing fan. I want to see that fight. So when Bill Wagner said that, I listened to it and I thought about it in the context, and put it in context. And I think that it is a situation where that fight might very well be a casualty of greater things and bigger things that are going on in boxing, and which is why I would really hope that Terence Crawford would eventually, if not leave Top Rank, go and be in a situation where he can make fights with Fox, even if he's not represented by the PBC, because I think that Fox is about to put a nail in the coffin of a lot of these people in boxing. Now, there's a very big chance that they're going to do that, and I think that they're trying to do it. If you listen to what he said about the 99% of great fighters, of the fighters that are out there, you have to know that, that he's exaggerating slightly. I wouldn't say 99%, but the fact they have more good fighters than anybody else. And in the weight classes that they're spotlighting, they definitely have more than anybody else. Definitely welterweight. If Andy Ruiz is able to beat Deontay Wilder, I mean, if Andy Ruiz is able to beat Anthony Joshua, that would further lock it down. But the main thing about Fox is that Fox seems to be dead serious about boxing. There's a conversation about them doing the belts. I'll save the conversation about the PBC belt and Fox for a separate video that I'm going to do. But as it relates to Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford, the PBC and what Fox is doing is Fox has the power to create fighters. They have the ability to make fighters household names. That is something that ESPN does not have the ability to do. That is something that Showtime does not have the ability to do. That is what DAZN does not have the ability to do. If you recall, when DAZN came on to the scene last year, I think it was June of 2018, they talked about pay-per-view being dead. Pay-per-view was dead. DAZN had $1 billion. DAZN had $1 billion that they were going to put into boxing to sign these big fighters. You were going to be able to see these great fights, and you're going to be able to see them for $9.99 a month or whatever the price was, of DAZN at that time. Shortly thereafter, Fox came in and gave the PBC a deal that was roughly the same size. They have been willing to invest as much money in boxing as DAZN has invested, but they have a distinct advantage over DAZN. And that distinct advantage is that they are already in the homes of millions of people that do not have to get an additional app to get access to their programming. Fox Sports, I'm told, I have cable, so it's hard for me to verify this, that Fox Sports is in homes with people on an antenna basis. So they actually have the ability to get fights to people and have people fight and purely do it on advertising dollars because they're in so many homes and they already have things like the NFL. They already have the NFL. They also have promotions related to off-season promotions related to Major League Baseball. They not only have the money to invest in it, they are already in the homes, and they already have the marketing capability to grow fighters' names. That's why you see pay-per-view. There's been, at least since they announced DAZN and Eddie Hearn and all these people who didn't go to Fox announced that pay-per-view was dead. There's been at least 3 successful pay-per-views on Fox that I know of. 3 successful pay-per-views that I know of in that time frame. One of them was Errol, Spence Jr., Mikey Garcia. The other one, Errol, Spence Jr., Mikey Garcia. Yeah. Errol, Spence Jr., Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter. 4 of them. Manny Pacquiao, Adrian Brawner, and Manny Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman. Those are 4 successful pay-per-views with another one coming up in Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz. That is Fox winning the battle over DAZN. And DAZN, their performance in boxing and real boxing with hardcore boxing fans has been miserable. It cannot be described as anything but disappointing. When you have KSI and Paul Logan boasting that that's the biggest fight of your year to YouTubers, no, man, that's you're not doing well. ESPN, if you look at the numbers for ESPN, and now ESPN, when you compare, at least when I look at how ESPN is approaching boxing, DAZN is approaching boxing, and Fox is approaching boxing, there's much less commitment on the part of ESPN for the sport of boxing than there is on Fox. Most of the good fights that ESPN has in boxing are farmed off to their ESPN mobile app. They're not featuring featuring significant fights on ESPN for everybody to see. They tuck them over there in the mobile app. And the numbers for the fights that have been taking place on ESPN period have not been good. They've decreased since the time that they allowed Lomachenko and Terence Crawford to fight on regular ESPN. Now you have these guys' numbers really being beaten by fighters on Showtime. Now Showtime, their place in this boxing, in this network war, I think that's being pretty much panned out as well, in that they're second fiddle to Fox. That the fights that aren't going to be aired for fights, the mega fights that aren't going to be, or the really big name fighters, the people that Fox don't want to push, those fights are going to be on Showtime. And Showtime is going to be kind of like a feeder league for Fox. That's something else that Bill Wagner had said, that Fox is going to get the marquee premier content, and Showtime's going to get what Showtime gets. Just listen to the way that he said that tells me, it makes me believe that this guy is somebody that really has a killer mindset about taking over the content, boxing related content. Now you add to it this PBC belt conversation and it can get ugly. And I think that these guys, for the first time, I think that you have somebody that really can pull off that UFC type of monopoly in boxing, especially when he uttered the words that he uttered, and we'll talk about in another video. I just hope that for the fight between Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford, that somehow, some way, Terence Crawford is able to get over there and get the fights that he wants to get, because they're flat out saying, we don't have any reason to go out of our way to do it. We got more than enough stuff over there. So even the idea that Bob Arum is pushing that these guys that Fox and ESPN could partner on the fight, it doesn't sound like it's happening. Not with the way that Bill Wagner is talking. He's like, man, I don't care. We can make big fights. And I know he's thinking we make Errol Spence, Manny Pacquiao. That's going to be big. That's bigger than Errol Spence Jr., Terence Crawford, right? Or we can many different options. And if the fighter's already not big, they can, with their promotion, they can make the guy big. So anyway, that's my take on it. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.